Hey guys, Metal Viking 82 here, back with a new Viking Orations. Got another review for you today, and this time around I'm going to be talking about the brand new EP from the band Gatecreeper, entitled An Unexpected Reality, put out just this year through Closed Casket Activities. And yeah, if you are not familiar with Gatecreeper, they are a death metal band based out of the Phoenix and Tucson area of Arizona that formed back in 2013, featuring Israel Garza on guitars. He is also in the band Judiciary, which is a band I really need to check out a little bit more. Sean Mears on bass, Metal Matt on drums, what a name. Eric Wagner on guitars, and Chase H. Mason handling all the vocals. This is the band's second EP overall. They do have a couple of full lengths, and this is 8 tracks, clocks in just under 18 minutes in length. And let me tell you, this is a hell of a listen. I listened to it probably close to 8 to 10 times. I've lost track how many times I've listened to this EP. I mean, honestly, it's short, but it wastes no time hitting you with these Swedish sounding guitar riffs that are heavy as fuck and just real crunchy, played at this mid to kind of fast paced speed. You also get these feedback intros and outros sprinkled throughout the EP. Good example is track 3, Rusted Gold. The outro there bleeds seamlessly into the intro for track number 4, Imposter Syndrome. Track 5, Amputation. There is a really great example of the headbangable groove that is throughout this EP, I have to say. It's just, you're listening to it and you're just like, and most of these songs are very short. The longest song on here is actually the very last track, which I will get into a little bit more in a bit. But track 7, Super Spreader, there's a cool little solo about the 28-second mark. And overall, the bass tone here is definitely thick and heavy. It's not super high in the mix, but it's very easily heard, and it gives everything a nice solid backbone that it needs. The drum sound and production is very solid, I think. I love the blast beats, the D beats on here. Some really killer double bass work. And again, talking about the closing track, which is basically a doom death song, and the performance here just really shows how varied Metal Matt is as a drummer, because I've talked to other drummers before and they say playing doom death style drums is not as easy as you would think. But yeah, his performance on that and just throughout this whole EP is really solid, I think. And then Chase's vocals are really varied on here. I mean, you get low growls, you get death roars, you get hardcore shouts, because there is some hardcore tinges to their music. You get screams, you get some and some blast sprinkled throughout here. And yes, those were terrible examples of those, and I apologize. But yeah, moving on to the very last song on here, track number 8, Emptiness. Oh, this is a complete surprise, because you've got hardcore tinge, fast death metal for the first 7 songs, and like I said, most of them are all under the 2-minute mark. And in fact, most of them, there's a couple of them that are only like not even a minute long. But then you get to track 8, Emptiness. And this is an 11-minute and 5-second doom death song. And damn, these guys did it well, I think. Here you get the slower guitar riffs, but they're still heavy as fuck. And they also throw in some acoustic-y style riffs. And just overall, the song has a very morose feel to it, which for a doom death song and a song entitled Emptiness, I mean, it's got to have that kind of an atmosphere to it. And of course, being the longest song on here, it was also the one that I picked out the most things that I noticed about it. So about the 2-minute and 14-second mark, there's this part that it could be just one guitar. I could be wrong about this, but it has this kind of twin harmonic sound that, it sounds really awesome how they've done it. And then about 4:50 in, everything just kind of drops out with this really creepy, slow-pitched riff. And it leads to this really crunchy riff that kicks things back into gear at the 5-minute mark, and you get this really sick, low-end growl at about the 5:15 mark. Then about at 5.5 minutes, it picks up pace to a really nice gallop with some double bass and this really ominous-sounding church bell playing in the background. 6:22, things kind of go back to that slower, heavier pace again, up until about the 7:44 mark, and that's where it drops to this really acoustic-y style riff. And then the drums finally come back in with just some kicks and cymbals. So you got that acoustic riff, and then just, a kick drum and him hitting onto the cymbals. And then finally things kick back into gear at the 850 mark with this really cool melodic riff to it. And there's even some kind of black metal-ish raps at the 912 mark. And then finally, the last thing that I noted was at the 957 mark, there's this really nice melodic solo that leads back to that same slow, heavy intro riff that we get. And then finally, at the 1020 mark, it just kind of slowly fades out to end the song in the EP. And just, what a way to end this. I mean, I gotta say, though, overall, this is a very aptly titled EP, as its release was literally unexpected. I mean, we hadn't heard anything from Gatecreeper for a while now, and of course with COVID going on, bands can't really do a whole lot, and then all of a sudden we just get a Facebook post that says, all right, new release coming out at midnight. It's like, but yeah, overall it's not very long, but it packs a real heavy and, I gotta say, varied punch to it, and it shows that these guys are just such talented guys that they go from playing, like I said, fast, hardcore tinge, D-beat style of death metal to playing doom death at the very end. It just really shows how varied and talented they are as musicians, in my opinion. And of course, it was recently announced that they signed to Nuclear Blast. I am very excited for these guys, and I'm really anxious to see what happens. And hopefully we'll get another full length before too long. And yeah, that is yeah. That's all I really have to say. I give this a solid 9.5 out of 10. I absolutely love this EP. Go check out An Unexpected Reality by Gatecreeper. I will try to leave a link down below where you can kind of listen to it for yourself and definitely pick it up and support the band. That is going to do it. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. And until next time, stay brutal.